Welcome to Balanced Life with Debbie Carlin Boyle. Conversations connecting to a healthier you. The show that gives you all the latest and greatest health and wellness information to inspire you to live a life of balance and joy. Debbie Carlin Boyle is a health and nutrition coach, personal trainer, and fitness instructor who helps her clients live in balance with everything that feeds us, in addition to the food on our plate. Please welcome your host, Debbie Carlin Boyle.
Hello, welcome everybody, welcome. You have reached my podcast, my show, which is Balanced Life with me, your host, Debbie Carlin Boyle. I am conversations that connect to a healthier you. I have a conversation today that you must stick around for because I have never done a show quite like this conversation because I really didn't think of this as a health and wellness kind of situation, but it actually is. So stick around before we get started and I introduce my lovely guest. I want to tell you a little bit about me. So I am a personal trainer, a fitness instructor. I'm a health and nutrition coach, and I help people find alignment and balance with everything, just like I said in the intro, that feeds us in addition to food on our plate, because there's so many things in life that have to come together, one of which is going to be part of our conversation today. So if you'd like to get in touch, you can go to my website, which we're looking at right now on the screen for those that are watching and not just listening. It is Balanced Life by Debbie, DEBI.com. And there you'll see a pop-up, and it's a free 3-day detox recipes for the summer. So the recipes, the shopping list, everything is there. I guarantee if you do these recipes, breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 3 days, if you do these, you're going to feel so much lighter on your feet. It's going to be a jump start for you to feel really light and floating and summery and all of that. So I implore you to do that. And while you're there, you can click down and go to my YouTube channel and subscribe, where I have hundreds of shows that I've done in the past that are all health and wellness shows, and any subject that you might want to find on health and wellness, from exercise to nutrition to meditation, you name it, I've done it. It's on my YouTube channel, and you'll gain a lot of information there. So also, I want to remind you that I am streaming live right now on Facebook Live, which is Balanced Life by Debbie Facebook. I'm also streaming live on ubngo.com. And if you are watching live, then you're in luck, because for the first time ever, I am doing a giveaway on my show today. And it has to do with, well, we're going to get into that, but keep listening. And because I'm conversations that connect to a healthier you, I want you to become part of our conversation today too. So to call in, it's area code 323-524-2599. Again, 323-524-2599. Write that down. It's going to become maybe important to you to win this free prize today, and I'm going to tell you how that's going to work in a second. But let's get to the show and what it's about first, and then we'll talk about how you can win this prize. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the negative effects of technology, which can be psychological, social, and physical, which studies have shown to create serious health problems. Have you ever thought what it would be like to detox from tech to create a more balanced and harmonious life? Well, my guest today has. Susan Howard is a wellness design and business development leader, an integrative wellness professional with a master's of science in kinesiology, integrative wellness from Point Loma Nazarene University, and a nationally board certified coach. She is passionate about business development of disruptive health technology, utilizing coaching, and created a platform to support global leaders to optimize their lives in all aspects of wellness. With 25 years in the wellness industry, working in all aspects of corporate management, creating a specialized lifestyle training boutique, and thriving through life's challenges, she has scientific evidence-based practices to help elevate your quality of life. Susan knows that the layers of wellness go beyond the physical, with adopting the dimensions of wellness into lifestyle practices to create a joyful, passionate, and purposeful life. So, knowing all that, will you now please welcome to my show, Susan Howard. There's our audience.
Thank you, Debbie.
Hi,
so appreciate being here.
I'm so excited to see you again. I don't know how long it's been since I've seen you.
I know. We have a history. We've been in the industry for some time together.
Yeah,
and
so for the
connecting here it's fantastic.
For the audience, Susan used to be my boss. I've had a few bosses on my show now because I've been in the industry for so long. And Susan used to manage Spectrum/Bay Club, and I used to work there. So and Susan taught there. I took her classes, and I talked to her extensively about so many things that had to do with health and wellness when we were working together. And then you miraculously moved away. You left.
I did a little shift in my environment, and I went from the Southern California to Northern California, and it's been an amazing journey. And I highly recommend to shake it up once in a while.
Yeah,
kind of, discover new things that you can do, and kind of break some old habits. And it's
because we all get stuck in our ways really easily, and we are creatures of habit. So let's go back. Let's start from the beginning, stuff that I kind of don't know about you, and I would love to hear and let the audience hear a little bit about your background, where you're from, and the journey you took to get into the health and wellness industry, and all the things that I just said in the introduction, and then we'll break down. And then before we hear about Susan, this is what I want to tell you guys. Now that you know that we're doing sort of what does it mean to detox from tech and wellness in the workplace, or if your workplace happens to be from home, if you look on the screen, and we can also show it because I have it here, we are giving away a laptop stand for posture that was developed by the company that Susan and I are going to talk about right now. And that's our free giveaway that's up on the screen right now. If you're just listening, we'll tell you how you can access and go ahead and get one for yourself. So the way it's going to work is once Susan and I start talking about the equipment that is out there to help in the workplace, the first caller, number one on the board that pops up, is going to win. So you want, as soon as we start talking about, before that, when we're talking a little bit about the workplace and wellness and that kind of thing, is not when you call in. So the first person...
Unless you have a question or a comment.
Yes, exactly.
Definitely.
Now, the other thing is, we want you to become part of the conversation, like I said at the top of the show. So you do want to call in. And so if you're calling in now, it's too soon to win the laptop. But if you call in, or the laptop stand, but if you call in when we start talking about it, that's when to get it. Because we do have a call. So I'm going to hold off on the call and let them wait while we talk to you a little bit, Susan, because I want to hear a little bit about your background. In a nutshell, where you're from and how you got to where you are.
Absolutely. Well, I am originally from the Midwest. So Midwest girl, loved sports. Was very active, state competitions for both track and cross country, and just really kind of felt like I had a balanced life, both socially and physically and emotionally, and really kind of took what I knew and continued to move forward in my life. So in college, my first actual, introduction to the fitness wellness industry was a salon called Elaine Powers Figure Salon. So for those of you that may know this, it was one of the first women's fitness locations. And I actually worked and did the 80s aerobics, and I helped to set people up on programs, and I also helped to introduce them to, feel comfortable in the industry. And from there, I knew that there was just a passion. I felt very connected to movement and meditation through having time in nature, And so it just continued to be part of my passion in life. So as I progressed on, I continually wanted to learn more and be involved in the industry. And so I did a lot with sports marketing for a bakery company of all things when I first started my career, and then just segued into more group exercise programming and getting involved in several different certifications, from Pilates to what we now know as step aerobics, but it used to be called bench aerobics, and then just continued on with my own private boutique studio that I partnered with some great friends of mine. And then moving forward, I wanted to get more science, more deeper into what really makes everyone tick. And that's when I got my master's in integrative wellness, and just knowing all the dimensions of well-being and understanding all that we've gone through this past 2 years, and knowing that it's all deeply connected, whether it be the social well-being or the emotional well-being or the intellectual well-being. And so now taking all of that and moving it forward into well tech. So it's been quite a journey. Of course, you mentioned the Bay Club and the Spectrum Athletic Club, which was part of the journey, but you already talked about that.
Yeah,
so
but the integrative new wellness part of it, was that before or after you were managing over at the club?
After. I literally got that
okay.
degree because it's a brand new focus.
Yes.
It's a Master's of Science in Kinesiology.
Yes.
I received that in 2019. So
okay.
I went back to school
at
an older age, which I highly recommend because it just sparks a new perspective, right? And definitely I felt like it enriched a lot of my relationships, including my relationship with myself. And it's only kind of helped me to continue to grow and to create new experiences.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think that, I mean, you're coming from more of a fitness background, as was I, but when you talk about a full circle, it's a health and well-being full circle, and there's so much more than just the fitness. That's very important to understand all of that. But for me, who grew up as a processed kid, I needed to get a really good grip on the nutrition part of it. And because I know, our gut is our second brain, and really the fitness part doesn't come into play if you're not literally feeding your body well. And then there's all those other things that have to come into play, as I said earlier. So it's never too late to go back and learn. I went back to school in 2016. It took me 3 years to get all of my certifications and to get where I am today. And I've been talking to you about the program and trying to move forward as well. Never too late. And I'm in my mid 60s, so I ain't stopping. There's always new stuff, and technology came alive during this time too, when we were in this health and wellness business. And I don't think people really realize that that we can get addicted to tech, and we can, our posture becomes a big issue. There are so many things, especially now that there's so many people working from home or sitting at desks for long periods of time, that are detrimental to our well-being, that we took for granted or didn't think about. Because when you think of wellness, what we think of is food, exercise, sleep, rest, meditation, all of the normal things, getting our, mindfulness and that kind of stuff. And then we think of work as work. But there's really so much more to that. So I'd love to dig into that aspect of it. Do we still have a caller, Tony? I hung up because it was too soon. Okay. So, all right. So call back, because there's opportunity for you here. So let's talk about why, what I'm just alluding to. Let's talk about tech and wellness, and why is it not good for us? And, it's good for us in so many ways. It's put us on the super information highway in a lot more efficient. We don't have to fax or literally drive things over, what I used to do when I first started out in the movie industry. But you definitely, we just thought it made things easier. We didn't know that there was a wellness component to it. Why is it important, do you think?
Yeah. So first off, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, no pun intended. But
it's okay. I get it all the time. If you're named Debbie.
You get it all the time. I'm not original in that regard.
It's okay.
But, technology is fantastic in so many different ways, in moderation, just like anything in life. So what happens is, because it's so accessible, our phones, our computers, everything is so accessible, we tend to overuse it. So when we overuse, we then take away from something else in our life, right? So if we're sitting at a screen for 6 hours at a time, what are we going to see? We're going to see, you can see in this picture here, before pictures of
these pictures.
Kind of hunched over,
so me,
whether it be in the computer, like if I were to turn and I was like on my computer this way, or if I was looking at my phone down.
So for those that are just listening, Susan, we're showing pictures of hunching over, that sort of turtleneck that you get in hinging forward and then rounding your shoulders. So we don't think about that. You're right. We just don't. It happens because we're on these.
Starting to become more aware of that and creating that alignment, like you saw in those after pictures. It's just thinking of that alignment from, all the joints stacked, and the same like when you're sitting, and also, having the ability to have a standing desk, or, having an apparatus such as a laptop tower stand, which doesn't mean we're talking about it yet, to be able to have that alignment. Those are things that are going to help to create those efficiencies in our bodies. So I think that's probably the biggest space that we can make an instant improvement, is if we just acknowledge and recognize how we're aligned, what we're doing. If we're leaning on one side, or we're sitting in our desk with one foot up and one foot down, it's all about being in alignment. And that's mobile, right? Like we don't have to be rigid and be like this the whole time, but whenever we're, in that posture, we want to make sure that we're keeping that alignment and keeping the core engaged and keeping some, infrastructure with the structure. So joints stacked.
And that really comes down to mindfulness. I mean, we really have to, it's a habit to go like this and hunch over. And then we have to undo that habit to create a new habit, just as we do, like if we want to cut sugar out, we have to slowly but surely mindfully create a new habit in how we're feeding ourselves. And in this case, how we're, working on our computer and sitting in our chairs and working with our technology. So we're going to get into it. Now, if you call in right now, we're going to talk about, I want you to tell us why. And I'm taking the first caller, why you call in right now, 323-524-2599, why a laptop stand would come in handy for you. What kind of work do you do, and how often, how long a day do you have, and what is it that you realize that this would be a valuable thing to you? And we have a call. So we're going to take that call right now, and then we're going to talk about what this person is winning and how you developed it. About what? Hi, are you there, caller? Hello?
Hi, are you there, caller?
I hear me.
Hello? Hello?
Hi, who is this, and where are you calling from?
Oh, hi.
Speaking of technology. Hello? Did we lose him, Tony? Can you hear me? Hello? Oh, we lost her. Maybe she couldn't hear us. Okay, caller, call back because you're our first caller, and I feel bad if we lost you. So we're at area code 323-524-2599. Hopefully we'll have a better connection. So anybody else who wants to call in now, we're going to start getting into the equipment and that you developed, and the app that reminds us, which is won all kinds of awards for being like the best app in terms of, it's MindPro, and just being mindful about the way you optimize your day, your work day. Things, how your Apple, and it syncs with the Apple Watch. So we're going to get into all of that. Yeah. So let's talk about the giveaway and see if we can get her to call back.
Yeah. So the laptop tower stand, I actually have one, and I know you just showed one, but this is great to keep that alignment, because wherever the eyes go, the body follows. So if you want to stand, you can actually elevate this so it's standing. Or if you're at a lower position, like we saw earlier with Carolyn showing her before and afters, you can actually lower it so you have the screen right in front of you. So that's going to help to create that alignment. There's a couple of other pictures here that kind of show some of the different coaches and clients with the laptop tower stand. And what's really exciting about this is it starts to help to program you when you're not with the laptop tower stand. So you start to feel how much more supported you are when you're in that, more upright position versus hunched over.
So once you do it, you really realize it's working. Okay, we have a caller. Awesome. So, hi, caller. Are you there?
Hi, how are you today?
Good. How are you? Who's calling and where are you calling from?
My name's Andrea, and I'm calling from New York.
Hi, Andrea. Thank you for calling in. So what do you do all day that says that, a laptop stand would be a good piece of equipment for you to get your hands on?
Well, I am a student. I go to Ithaca College. I'm going to be a senior this year, and I've noticed over the years that, I used to be a dancer, so I've noticed that after I stopped dancing, I've noticed that I've started slouching, especially when I'm on the computer or just at school during my classes. I've noticed I'm starting to slouch, and I want to get back into my dance body and back into my dance posture, that old self that I used to have. So I feel like this product would be great for me.
Wow, that's true.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And what's cool also, Andrea, is that you're young. And, because what happens is as we age, it gets worse and worse and worse. And it's this slow decline of hunch that my girls are constantly getting me. I had to take up yoga again just so I'd start straightening up. And, and I've done these bone density tests, and sure enough, I've lost, that comes with age anyway, but we can really slow it down with good posture. You absolutely can. So you're young enough that you can nip this in the bud before you get to my age and realize, now I got to go start working backwards. So, yeah. Andrea, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you, because you just won a laptop stand. Yay. So I'm going to give you my email address. You're going to email me so we can get your address, and it's going to be sent to you because we're going to talk about the company that developed and Susan's been a big part of that, that makes these stands, so we can make sure we get one to you. Okay? So
awesome. I'm so excited.
My email is Deb Boyle, DEBBOYLE at mac.com. Okay? You got that?
Okay, awesome.
Good.
I just wrote it down. Thank you so much.
Yay. Thank you for listening, and thank you for calling in, and congratulations. You're a winner. So that's fantastic. Yeah. Thank you. We got applause.
Yeah.
Our audience came out of the wall. Yay.
Yeah, and I want to add, because I so appreciate your awareness of what's been going on, and to kind of be very, very forthright and calling in, and this being a great opportunity to support your well-being. It's really fantastic. So really appreciate your call.
Oh, she had hung up, but I think she's still listening. So thank you, Andrea. Okay. Thank you. But Susan just thanked you for your awareness and for your support of this. So I really wish you a lot of luck using this, because it's going to come in handy. And I don't know if there's a picture, but for those that are just listening, it's like you can carry it like a briefcase or like a purse. It's so easy. It folds up really small. And it's, I carried one in today, and with everything else, it was so easy. It wasn't inconvenient at all. So you can take it wherever you go. If you're going to your office, if you work, there's a lot of hybrid going on right now where people are working from home. But then, like for my daughter, she's supposed to go in twice a month to the office. And I'm not sure if her office has the standing. She's already got herself situated at home because they went straight to home work as soon as the pandemic hit. So she went out and she bought all this equipment that the office supported. So, but I don't know what the office has when she's there. So this is like an easy thing for her to be able to purchase and take with her. So letting you know that. What other things, Susan, let's talk a little bit about Obvious and what it is and how you work with them to develop this wellness equipment.
Yeah, so my background, having integrative wellness background and a lot of alignment and ergonomics, was a natural fit. So they actually created the laptop tower stand without me, but I utilized it in the sense of being able to understand people's ergonomic needs and incorporate that into coaching. And so basically how Andrea actually understood her need and her desire to change, it actually makes it a space where you can actually, put together a game plan. So with Obvious Solutions, I help to develop some of the user experience and programming for Minder, which is an app that connects your Apple Watch with the app and will give you biofeedback for both posture and breath work. And so by doing so, it will actually tell you if you're standing in a more of an upright supported posture position, or if you're leaning a little to the right or to the left. It will actually provide that feedback with the app. So I helped to develop that process of the user experience. Ken Rosenblatt, who's the founder, actually developed and patented this process. So it's super exciting because how many people have an Apple Watch, right? But how many people actually use it as a posture device?
I do. And yeah, not for posture. I mean, it will remind you to stand, because sometimes I feel like, shut up. But it's like, because I don't sit all day, I break it up, So because I'm in the fitness industry and because I personally train both on Zoom and, I'm moving around a lot during the day. Right. So when I sit, but, my Apple Watch is constantly reminding me to move, which I think is good. And I probably should when it tells me to. I know, again, my daughter utilizes that because she's sitting for hours and looking at the screen and stuff. And you have other products as well, and I want to get into everything that Obvious and Mind Pro app does, but we're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to come back in 1 minute, and I want to remind you to call in, ask any question to Susan that you have about health, wellness, technology, things you should or shouldn't be doing, how you should navigate your workspace. She's got those answers. So again, the number's here, 323-524-2599. And we're going to be right back after this message. I'm very excited about a new partner that has a product that I literally use every day. I started taking Athletic Greens because I realized very quickly that I could not possibly get the nutrients I needed simply through the foods I ate. As a health and fitness professional, when I started researching the necessary vitamins and supplements we need every day to strengthen our immune system and slow the aging process, I realized I'd be taking a ton of pills, which I have never been on board with. So enter Athletic Greens. With one delicious scoop of Athletic Greens, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. I take one scoop every morning on an empty stomach in cold water or freshly made almond milk, and sometimes I incorporate it into a smoothie. Either way, the taste is great, kind of like a tropical flavor that I actually look forward to drinking. Athletic Greens is made from the finest ingredients. It's lifestyle friendly, whether you eat keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, or gluten-free. Athletic Greens contains less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals or artificial anything, while still tasting good. And Athletic Greens cost you less than $3 a day. With over 7,000 five-star reviews and recommended by professional athletes, how can you go wrong? So right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/emerging. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/EMERGING to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. All right, we're back, and I'm with my guest, technology wellness expert in so many areas of health and wellness, Susan Howard. And I want to tell you again and thank you. We did have other calls lined up, and I want to thank you for calling in. We were going to take the first caller. Thank you. I hope you're still listening to the show. And if you have a question about health and wellness, give us a call. I think we might be able to work out some kind of a discount if you still want the stand. I meant to talk to you about that before the show, Susan, but if, they took the time to listen to the show and call in, they saw our advertisements on social media, so call back and we'll talk to you a little bit about what you do and why this will come in handy for you, and we'll see what we can do for you as well. So the number here again is 323-524-2599. Become part of our conversation. So, Susan, welcome back. I want to talk about other things that, is important to our well-being when it comes to technology and workspace. What other things should we be aware of and mindful of?
Yeah, so what we've done with Obvious, and it kind of like ties in everything with what I want to talk about because I helped to develop the wellness coaching platform, is to take breaks. So Minder actually helps in that process with the posture, the breathing, and healthy habits. So most people do not get up every hour when they're at a computer. I'd be curious, to know and to just ask you that question, how many of you out there actually get up or set a timer to get out off of your chair and move around or stand so that you get a little bit more movement. So typically there's a lot more stationary, habits. So moving around is going to be something important. Another thing that's really quite stressful for a lot of technology is eye strain, because we're constantly staring at the screen.
Big time. So that's a tough one.
It's a tough one, right? And so I have a window right here. So not everybody can have an office with a window, but try to look away from the screen, and also to try to do some eye exercises that are more of, kind of like going from side to side and up and down. So you're not constantly staring straight at the screen.
Oh, good one.
Another thing that people tend to do is they don't take any time to kind of move away from what their thoughts are. And I know that sounds funny because you're focused and you're so, intense at getting stuff done, but to take a moment and look at flowers. I asked my daughter, and I asked her if it would be okay if I shared, but she actually at her desk, she puts flowers at her desk so that she can take a minute at a time to just, take notice of the nature and help to kind of reset and reground, so that when she goes back to what she's working on, she has a fresh pair of eyes. So those are just a few. And Debbie, I'd love to just get a little bit of an insight on any of those resonate with you. If you do any of those things right now, I love these suggestions because I'm not mindful enough. And that's the point about tech and wellness, is that we think of what I was saying earlier. I think of tech before I started researching the show and talking to you about what you're doing now. I think of technology as, making everything easier and more efficient. And
when I do have my days that are strictly, I'm writing a book right now, so I'm laying all of the chapters out and, just sort of going through it. And I could be at the computer. I'll realize, I'll look down, it's been 3-4 hours. And where I sit at my desk, I usually do have fresh flowers or an orchid around, but do I mindfully stop to look at it? Do I go up and look out the window? No, I might go to the cupboard and grab some nuts or something and get a snack. And like I said, I get mad at my watch if I have my Apple Watch on, because earlier that day I was training or teaching and I've still have my watch on. It's like, time to stand. I'm like, shut up, And so I really need to be better because I think I'm exempt, right? We all think when it comes to wellness, oh, it's just today, or I'm not sitting here long enough. I am not mindful of it, and I can assume, me being in the health and wellness industry, if I'm not mindful, my guess is the majority of people aren't either. And that's what I love about this, taking a look at what you do and how you're bringing this to the general population.
And Debbie, what you just said, you used the word me. And something that I love about Minder is it's all about me moments, which is shortened to MIMOs. So a MIMO could be hydrating, because lots of times we do not drink enough water. This is another thing that really can help us to have mental clarity and hydrate the brain. But that's a MIMO. Standing up. I'd love to stand up just to get a little stretch.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
The stand is a MIMO. I have a me moment, which is to pet my little long-haired Chihuahua Pepe.
Yeah.
He gets to get a little time, especially when we're working remotely. Like, there's things that we can do. It's not distracting you from your work. It's actually helping you to be more efficient in your work because you're taking those mindful breaks. And that kind of leads me to, like, what are mindful breaks? Like, some people think that you need to be like in meditation, and it can be anything that's helping you to just stay focused in the present moment. So whether it be the flowers or petting the dog or taking a drink of water and, feeling that go down your throat and feeling that hydration, all of those things are like little hacks for detoxing from tech.
I love that. Just stuff we don't think about and we take for granted that it's fine because we separate work from play, from exercise, from sleep. And really, it all should be thought of in every realm of when we're working. We should be taking care of ourselves and not just thinking about the task at hand. I love that.
Exactly.
So what are the other products? I know you guys have a chair for posture. I don't know. I remember looking at the products, but I can't remember. Are there glasses for the screen, like blue light blockers, or do you recommend them? Or
those are excellent. Definitely, if you spend a lot of time at the screen, those are something that can be advantageous for longevity for the eyes. Right now, Obvious Solutions is having a whole build out of a wellness store to kind of create different things that will be accessible. Currently, the laptop tower stand, the Minder app, and also the Minder Pro app, which is for wellness professionals to communicate with clients utilizing the Minder app. It's really amazing because it can actually share the dashboard, it can share messaging, it can share and when I say dashboard, that's all the biofeedback from, steps that you've logged for the day, where your heart rate is, what MIMOs you've done for the day. And then the other product that's actually being created right now, which is really exciting, is called a Stack Desk. And the Stack Desk is one that can be transformed from a sitting position to a standing position, and has a lot of adaptability. So really help to create that ergonomic support that, everyone really wants to make sure that they have. So those are some of the products that Obvious Solutions has right now.
Oh, very cool. And let's talk about the app. And you just alluded to many things that it does, but what So first off, if I wanted, which I have, but let's pretend I haven't. If I wanted to download the app, what's the very first thing I have to do? And is it free? And where, how you can work with the coach, or you always work with the coach? That part I'm not sure of. So let's tell the listeners how the app works.
Absolutely. So it's very user friendly, right? We want to make sure that it makes it so that no matter if you have an Apple Watch or not, you can have some benefit. It currently is on the iOS platform, so you do need an Apple phone for it. And it's downloadable through the Obvious Solutions title, Obvious Solutions Minder. And basically you download the app, and then you can connect it to your Apple Watch and then be able to create that biofeedback by actually calibrating your Apple Watch with the Apple phone. So right now I have it on my wrist, but I literally could put it right here at my stomach and be able to tap calibrate, and it would actually give me that biofeedback. And then there's also necklaces that are available that can actually create that biofeedback by sitting or standing. And I actually have one, but it's right over there. I'll show it to you in just a second.
Okay. And so how does the coach, you said that the coach has the Minder Pro version, so they can interact with the client. So how does that work exactly? So we can keep up, and then the coach, I would assume, checks in with their client daily, or they're there for anything if they have a question, or the coach can see what's going on, and if they're sedentary, if they need to move, if they need these little hacks, does the coach chime in and live and like say something?
Yes, definitely can. So this is all about supporting, each individual, right? So depending on what the relationship is between the client and the coach, they're going to have an agreement on how they're going to communicate and what they're going to do. But the wellness coaches are actually able to see the client's information. So their path, their dashboard. And what I mean by that is like all of their biofeedback, their steps, the water that they've had for the day, if they're logging that, what memos they've done for the day, and actually have the ability to have messaging back and forth. So really creating that supportive space. And for those of you that don't know a lot about the National Board of Health and Wellness Coaching, it's a national board organization that has extensive training so that coaches are really supportive in a cognitive behavior focus. So really supporting you where you are with a non-judgmental space. So you're not going to get a coach that says, hey, you need to walk more. Be like, hey, you've walked 2,000 steps so far today. How does that feel? And really kind of create that positive environment. So it really depends on the coach-client relationship, but Obvious Solutions can match you with a coach. Or if you're a coach and you have clients that you want to work with this software, that's available to coaches to, connect with their clients in that way too.
Yeah, I'm one of those coaches that I'm going to make that suggestion to some of my clients. I have to admit, a lot of my clients are not tech savvy and don't have even Apple. Some of them still have flip phones, to tell you the truth. So, but I do have younger clients, and that was part of I had them before, but I got more during the pandemic because I got a lot of kids in my clients who came home and were stuck and needed to move, and that's where the Zoom stuff came in, and they would understand this technology really well and have a really good outcome with it. And I know as a coach that, I believe in coaches, obviously. I'm one of them. I think we're really good for accountability. And sometimes family can't do that for you, right? And sometimes, a bot or something electronic can't do that for you either. You need to talk to a live person. And it doesn't mean we need to get into the psychology of it. We just need someone like, a cheerleader to root you on. And if something's not working, and what I wanted to ask you about, because from one coach to another, I know my methods, but I know you're really well schooled in this stuff. How to change unhealthy habits to healthy ones? How do you suggest? I mean, we talked about it from a technology standpoint, but what do you think in general? How do we change from unhealthy? Either we can't afford a coach, or we're not in a coaching program that's a group program. What's the best thing that an individual can do if they don't have that cheerleader?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And the first part is the actual intent in wanting to change, So like from a scale of 1 to 10, how ready are you to change is one of the key things. Because if you're really not ready to change, we talk about the five stages of readiness for change. And if you're not really ready for change, odds are you're probably not going to have a change.
What are the 5 stages? I'm curious.
Oh, you're going to call me out on it, and I'm not going to be able to do it right now. But the main key place is that you are ready. And that you are confident that you want to put that forward.
Right.
An example would be if someone was told that they needed to stop smoking, but they had no intent of wanting to stop smoking, except the doctor told them to. So what a person that actually is interested in stop smoking because they're concerned about their health, they want to live a longer life, they want to be able to be around for their grandchildren, that would be someone that is ready for change, right?
Right.
So once we have someone that's really ready for change, then it's really about small steps for big long-term wins. And so one of the key strategies is stacking habits. So say, for instance, we're talking about technology and wanted to incorporate standing more frequently. So maybe your schedule was such that you had your schedule on the hour. So at like 9 o'clock in the morning, you went till 9:55, and then you had that 5-minute break before you did your 10 o'clock. At the end of that meeting, you could go ahead and you could schedule a stand with maybe a drink of water. And then that would be incorporated into your change instead of like sitting for 3 hours at a time without any standing. That would be a real quick kind of hack to detox from tech.
Yeah, I like that. And you have small, actionable steps, one at a time. Add a new one maybe the next day, then keep going back to it's sort of a building. It's a ladder that happens. And then they become habits because it takes time to create habits. Yeah. And even our bad habits took time to create, but they're there. But our good habits do too. And you can crowd out the bad ones with the good ones once you start stacking them a little higher than the bad ones. Yeah.
Stacking those habits. And whether it be setting a reminder, finding ways that are workable for you, because something that might work for me may not work for you. So for me, I like to have a reminder. So the reminder comes up on my phone. I'm able to stand up, maybe go walk outside for a second, and then come back to my computer for, the next meeting. But having something that's really a reminder for me is my supportive tool.
Yeah, which I love. I just love that whole mindset. So we're really winding down to the last couple of minutes here. So I have another question, then we're going to have you leave us with, final thoughts, and how people can get a hold of you and how they can get the app and how they can get the equipment. And if they mention maybe they watch the show, what kind of little perk they can get if they're going to buy anything. What do you think what is the one thing somebody can start doing today? I know you talk about breath is important in your program. Why is it important? I know why, but let's tell the listeners why breath is important. And then what's one thing that people can start doing today that's free and easy towards better well-being?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you cued me with the breath. I think, if you haven't had an opportunity to actually look at any type of breath work, the benefits are so empowering, from mental clarity to a reduction of, cortisol, so you can reduce your stress, to ability to get better digestion. All of these things can help with one simple breath. And when we talk about breath, it's really about an expansive breath. So when we expand our belly, which is actually expanding our diaphragm, we're going out into a horizontal space. And then when we exhale, we squeeze, we kind of draw all that air down from the bottom of the belly up through the mouth. So it's not about this lift up type of breath, but it's more of this horizontal breath. So I think that would be one really key way to understand that we want to have a big belly breath, really expanding through our belly and filling up our hands, and then exhaling and squeezing all of that air out. So that would be a really fast way and easy way if you're feeling stressed or you have a second between each meeting to just take a breath. And, if you want to combine it with a little something extra, whether it be flowers or looking out the window, that would be a simple, fast way.
Yeah.
But the question as coaches is, what do you think would be something simple and easy and manageable that would help to increase a little bit of joy, reduce a little bit of stress each day? And that's usually where we start as a coach, because most of the time we have some answers. We just are not taking enough time to listen to ourselves. So
that's true.
That's a key.
Yeah, because we're, it's the classic, let's do for others, but, don't do as I say, but don't do as I do kind of thing, because we're always sort of, as coaches, that's what we do. We help others. So we study for others that we don't necessarily. But I've learned over the years, especially because I'm about to be 65, and I learned over the years that it's got to be do as I do. And so I have to start doing it. I can't just start giving advice. One of the reasons why I went back to school, so I could implement those healthy hack things that needed to be done. And I do meditate every day. And I think meditation can come in any form, in where you just stop and slow down. And that comes with the breath as well. I'm reading a great book now called Breathe, which is
James Nestor.
Yeah.
Did
you read the book? I'm in the middle of it. Oh no, I'm towards the end right now. I'm almost done.
Yeah.
It's a great book.
It is phenomenal. It really brings awareness to how powerful the breath really is.
Say the author again.
James Nestor.
Nestor.
Yeah.
I was thinking Lester was his last
Yeah.
name. But yeah, so I'm in the middle or the end of that book, and it's really powerful. And so I decided I'm going to practice, what he's saying. And so here's a little tip for you guys. You shouldn't be a mouth breather. You should be a nose breather. And a lot of problems that people have, and the reason why they snore, and the reason why they have sleep apnea, and the reason why they have a restless night is because they're breathing through their mouths. And it has a lot to do also with what you're doing throughout the day. How you're eating, whether or not you're exercising, whether you're doing breath work or meditation, and whether you've had enough sleep that week. That has a lot to do with whether or not we snore at night, and whether we've had alcohol or not, or whatever, so, and how soon we stopped eating or drinking before we went to bed has to do with it, with quality of sleep. And if you're snoring, you're not getting sleep quality. So to learn to breathe through our nose, it was a real sort of, it wasn't any kind of big discovery. I kind of knew that, but I didn't know how important it was. So I have mouth tape to keep my mouth closed, which you can get on Amazon. I'm just saying, to keep my mouth closed. Because I'll catch myself or first thing waking up in the morning and my mouth's not closed. So obviously somewhere along the line, even though I went to sleep with it closed, it didn't stay that way. But the mouth tape is subtle. People used to put when they first heard of this hack, they would put on like gaffer's tape and stuff, and that's really heavy. And this is made specifically like a little cross that closes. Anyway,
I think people are going to be going out and buying that for their partners.
Well, you know what?
Here you go, honey.
This is a lot cheaper than going to some expert or to have a CPAC. Go get some mouth tape, and it like anything else. it's going to be little baby steps to get used to it. So the first night, maybe, you wake up and you after a half hour and think, oh, this is not for me, and you take it off. Well, you try it again the next night, you go a little further, and it just into it where you can make it through the night. And then eventually you won't need it because you've taught yourself to breathe through your nose. And studies have shown, as we know through the book, this creates longevity. This creates what I'm writing now is a book called Age Young. This helps you in the aging process to not go down that path, which we go in south in so many ways. This slows that process down. So anyway, little hack. And so we are out of time. Go ahead.
Just to piggyback on that, because hopefully many of your viewers already know this, but detoxing from tech, meaning like spending at least a couple of hours prior to bedtime, actually assists in deeper sleep too. So, since we're talking about how to work with that, to do that. And then the other challenge that I really want to challenge everyone is, how can you start your morning without reaching for your phone?
That's a tough one.
So don't start the day by reaching for your phone. Do something else that's really going to be beneficial for you.
What do you suggest?
One thing that I know that really grounds me is just taking a moment to be what I'm grateful for that in the morning.
Gratitude.
And I do the same thing at night. And it can be something very simple as far as like my health or my relationships, or, something that I'm looking forward to the day. And it really helps to like have me connect and create that positive space for myself. So no matter what happens after that, I'm solid from that place forward.
Great suggestion. I love that. I love you leaving us with that. I just really quick one. I have little pieces of paper by my bed, and I do a gratitude in the morning and a gratitude at night. And rather than write it all in a journal, I have this collection of different gratitudes that I revisit, and just and then when you revisit it, you really do feel grateful. You really do understand, and it absorbs and it creates serotonin and good feelings. It's really a health hack, along the way. I agree with you. So Susan, how can people get in touch with you, and how can people get in touch with everything, getting on the app and doing all that? Where should they go if they're listening? Because we do have stuff up on the screen, but if they're listening.
Absolutely. So LinkedIn is a great place for me. Full name is Susan Howard, and also Instagram, Susan Howard 2, and as well as I'm starting a new program, which is going to be Wine and Wellness CA, and that is actually both the website and Instagram, so wineandwellness.ca, and also Wine and Wellness CA is an Instagram label. And then from Obvious, actually, we've got obvious.me.
And it's spelled, can you spell it for those that are just listening? Because it's not obvious.
It's not obvious until it's obvious, which is OBVUS. And typically when we spell it, it's lowercase OB and then capital V and then US.me. And then minderpros.com is for wellness professionals and also for companies looking for corporate programming. The minderpros.com is a space for that. So the laptop tower stands wellness solutions, that would be obvious.me. And then, if you need to email me directly, it's Susan@SusanHowardWellness.com. And I do wellness coaching and well tech, and can help with any business development or wellness design that you may need, or have any curiosity questions. I can help you with that.
Perfect. Susan, it was so good to catch up with you and physically see you again. If you were in LA, I'd have you sitting next to me here. But you moved away. You moved away. Thank you so much. We could go on and on about all these wonderful health things, and in addition to what we do with our technology and our workspace. So I really want to thank you for your time. And I want to thank you, the audience, for becoming part of this conversation, for listening to us today. But you can continue to talk to us by making a comment or asking a question. You can go to Balanced Life by Debbie Facebook or Balanced Life by Debbie Instagram, or you can email me again at debboyle@mac.com and let me know what you thought. Better yet, if you are on iTunes podcasts, go ahead and give us a rating right there and make a comment. That always helps. So thank you so much for joining us today. And Susan, thank you. And I want you to keep going out and finding those conversations that connect to a healthier you. Bye, everybody. See you in 2 weeks. 2 weeks.